Hey guys, I'm Brittany and I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about audiobooks in education. So, to get started, what are audiobooks? Audiobooks are basically just a CD or cassette recording of any book. One way to purchase audiobooks is through audible.com. This is one of the biggest audiobook stores, and if you have a subscription with Amazon Prime, your first two are free, which is just amazing. BookRiot.com also has a list of the 11 best places to find audiobooks for free. Another way to find them is to go to the Google Play Store or the Apple Books app on your phone and click on the Books tab, and then from there you can select audiobooks and browse what's available to you. Some of the positive aspects about audiobooks are that they help you to become a better reader by introducing you to new genres and vocabulary. They provide a read-aloud version of a book, which can be helpful when you're doing something that requires your hands and visual attention, like driving or taking a shower. They also increase critical listening comprehension by allowing you to focus on the meaning of words rather than interpreting them from the page. This can be extremely helpful to students with dyslexia or other learning disorders. Audiobooks also strengthen interpretive reading skills and help to recapture the essence of storytelling. Another great thing is that they're readily available at any time, so you don't have to worry if the bookstore or the library is open. Some negatives about audiobooks are that they're harder to refer back to. So say there's a certain line that you really like and want to write down or use in a paper. Rather than being able to flip back and forth and find it, you have to try and remember the time frame you heard it and then fast forward and rewind through the book until you find it again. Another downside is that they can easily get lost if you don't have a proper backup system on whatever device you're using. So if it breaks, the audiobook is virtually gone. They also go at a set pace, so they could be harder to follow along with depending on your speed of reading and comprehension and learning. The fact that listening to audiobooks almost always requires you to have headphones in, they can have a tendency to put you in your own world and become a little bit antisocial. Another downfall of audiobooks are that while you can find them easily in your public library, school libraries have a limited stock because they're typically not in the budget and it makes them fairly expensive. For example, the first Game of Thrones book on Kindle costs $6. It costs $10.50 as a paperback in any bookstore, and it's $30 for the audiobook version. So that's a huge jump. Also, as hard as it could be to believe, not everyone has access to the necessary technology for audiobooks. Here are just a few of the statistics I found out to show how rapidly growing of an industry this is. The leading genre currently is literature and fiction with 2.75 million copies sold, and the least sold is fantasy at 0.76 million. The audiobook industry has around 102 publishers with about 4,300 employees. And a study in 2017 shows that there have been over 46,000 audiobooks published so far. Between 2009 and 2017, the industry saw a 177% increase in sales, jumping from 900 million to 2.5 billion. In 2010, the Audio Publishers Association found that 37% of the U.S. population had listened to an audiobook at some point in their lifetime. The association also found that between 2017 and 2018, 14% of consumers were between the ages of 18 and 24, 18% were female, and 20% were Hispanic. Personally, I don't use audiobooks. I love having an actual book in my hand and being able to flip back and forth. I'm also a huge fan of highlighting and underlining quotes that I really like and dog-earing pages so I can constantly refer back to them. I also find myself getting distracted very easily when I'm just sitting there listening to something. Even when I'm watching TV, I'm constantly rewinding to see what I missed because I dazed out. In the future, I think I would definitely consider using them for my children when they're older. They can be good to listen to during bath time or while we're playing or in the car rather than having the TV or the radio on in the background. Anybody can really use audiobooks as long as they have a smartphone or other device that is accessible to the internet. You can listen to them at any time for any reason. To bridge a conversation gap or for school or just to relax. As far as my classes go, I can use audiobooks in basically all of them. Spanish would be the most beneficial, I think. An audiobook would help me to learn the basics and make sure my pronunciations are correct. It could also help me by listening to books that I already know and working on understanding and translating the words. My English class, they would be helpful because I'd be able to listen to research or my assigned chapters while I'm doing something else, especially because they're always long chapters and it's sometimes hard to sit and read with little kids running around. Audiobooks could also be helpful in this class for pretty much the same thing. You can listen to the assigned reading at any time rather than trying to carve out time to sit down and read. They can also help to expand our knowledge on the previous chapters by listening to motivational books or books about time management, financial management, basically everything we've covered so far. This is just a list of the different websites that I found my information from. And that is all I have for you guys. I hope you learned something new today. Thanks for listening.